Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful couple named Sarah and David. They have been married for 5 years, and despite all efforts, they had no children of their own. This caused them great pain, especially as their in-laws pressured them constantly about it. But they were determined to love one another through the tough times. Eventually, after much consideration, the couple decided to adopt a child. They adopted a sweet, bright little girl named Mia. Mia was only 6 years old, but she had been born with disability. She could not walk and had to use a wheelchair. Yet, her cheerful personality and glowing smile immediately captured Sarah and David's hearts. "We will take care of her and we will give her everything that she needs," David and Sarah promised in agreement. They felt this was their chance to bring happiness into their life, and Mia as well. So they adopted her. Life with Mia was filled with joy. She was placed in the best school and had a personal maid to help with everything she needed. At night, Sarah and David would read for her some bedtime stories, laughing and cuddling her before taking her into her room. They celebrated her birthday with cake, presents, and balloons, and they often took her to the park to play with other kids. Mia felt loved and safe. She knew she was part of a family that cared deeply for her. Then, something miraculous happened. After years of thinking it was impossible, Sarah discovered that she was pregnant. The news brought excitement to the whole family. Sarah and David had finally received the miracle they prayed for, a baby of their own. Everyone was overjoyed, and soon Sarah gave birth to a healthy, beautiful baby girl. As time went on, Mia noticed things changing. Sarah and David was now consumed with time, caring for the new baby. Mia no longer had her parents' full attention. There was no more bedtime stories and outings together. Everything became gloomy. Mia understood the baby needed extra care, but deep inside, she felt left out. She tried her best to be a good big sister always smiling and reaching out to play with her baby girl. But it seemed like Sarah and David were always cautious around her. When she was near the baby, they wouldn't let her hold or touch her baby sister, which hurt Mia deeply. School became a struggle for Mia. Her grades began to drop and she became quiet and withdrawn. Her teacher noticed and called Sarah and David for a meeting to express concern over Mia's behavior. However, they brushed it off, saying Mia was just adjusting to the new baby and that she would be fine. The baby's first birthday arrived, and Sarah and David threw a huge party, but Mia wasn't included in the celebration. She wasn't even given new clothes to wear for the occasion. She watched from her room as everyone celebrated without her. Tears streamed down her eyes. She felt forgotten. Not long after the birthday party, the baby fell ill. Sarah and David were frantic, doing everything they could to save their only daughter. But despite their efforts, the baby didn't survive. The loss devastated the couple. They were heartbroken, wondering why their miracle had been taken away from them so soon. They turned their attention back to Mia again, showering her with love and attention again as if nothing had happened. But then, Sarah got pregnant again, this time with twins. The excitement returned to the household, and once more, Mia was pushed to the sidelines. Sarah's mother warned her not to neglect Mia again, but all her advice fell on deaf ears. The couples changed Mia's school to a cheaper one, while their twins went to the best schools money could afford. Slowly, they began to mistreat Mia. Sarah, once a loving mother, became harsh and impatient. She would shout at Mia and even hit her for the slightest thing. And David wasn't any better. He became distant, focusing all his attention on his biological children. One day, Mia's personal maid needed to travel to the village for a week to see her sick mother. Sarah and David let her go without arranging for someone to take care of Mia. They decided to take their twins on a vacation and left Mia at home alone. No one thought how Mia, just 8 years old and unable to walk, would manage without any help. Thankfully, the maid had left Mia some bottled water and biscuits before she left, but it wasn't enough. After 3 days, Mia had run out of food and water. She couldn't get out of her wheelchair and was too weak to call for help. She sat in her room helpless and scared, unable to move, with no one to care for her. When the maid returned a week later, she was horrified by what she saw. Mia was barely alive. She had been sitting in her own waste, dehydrated and starving. The maid rushed Mia to the hospital where doctors worked hard to save her life. The hospital management called Sarah and David, but they were on their vacation and didn't seem to care much about Mia's condition. They continued enjoying their holiday with their twins. The maid didn't have much money to cover the hospital bills, so she contacted the adoption agency that helped place Mia under Sarah's care. When the agency representative arrived at the hospital, they were devastated to see Mia's condition. They remembered her as a sweet, bright girl they had placed with the couple and couldn't believe she had been treated so poorly. They immediately paid for Mia's medical care and took legal actions to remove her from Sarah and David's custody. When Sarah and David returned from their vacation, they were served with a court order. The adoption agency had filed charges against them for neglect, and Mia was taken from them. They were fined a huge amount of money for the pain they had caused her, but all Sarah and David could think about was how they were going to party with their new twins. The twins' birthday arrived soon, and Sarah and David went out on a celebration. The party was the biggest in town, with everyone talking about it. It was even shown on national and international television. But the next morning, tragedy struck again. Sarah went to wake the twins for breakfast, but they wouldn't wake up. In panic, David rushed them to the hospital, but it was too late. Both twins had passed away in their sleep, and doctors couldn't even explain. Why rumors began to spread on social media, with many suggesting that Sarah and David's neglect of Mia had brought them bad luck. Sarah's mother reminded them of all her warning she had given her about treating Mia right. But the loss was too much for Sarah to bear. She went into madness, and despite David's effort to help her, nothing worked. Meanwhile, Mia was placed with a new family, one that loved her and treated her with kindness and care. She received therapy and slowly began to heal from the emotional scars left by Sarah and David. Though she would always carry the pain of her past, Mia found hope and happiness in her new home. As for Sarah and David, they were left with nothing but regret. Their wealth couldn't bring back their children or erase the pain they had caused Mia. They had lost everything. And in the end, they realized too late that Mia had been the true miracle all along. If you want me to do a part 2 on this story, drop a comment and I will do that. We meet again. Like, share and comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching.